Now begins the recitation of the revelation word of the Divine Avataric Master, Paramasaptana, Adida Samraj. This is Observe Me Standing Free. I am the self-evidently and really and truly Divine One I have declared myself to be. I am the self-evidently and really and truly Divine One, by me transcendently spiritually initiated, and always newly by me transcendently spiritually activated devotees, come by means of my avatarically self-revealing divine transcendental spiritual grace to know and openly to confess through love's revelation of love bliss in devotional and transcendental spiritual communion with me. Ahamda Asmi, beloved I am Da. I am the intrinsically egoless, divine and real and true heart. I am the avatarically given divine self-manifestation of the bright, the intrinsically egoless and self-evidently divine heart or conscious light of reality itself. And the totality of my avatarically given divine self-manifestation is a great divine pattern. And the totality of that divine pattern of mine is the way to the divine heart and the divine way of the heart. Therefore, to surrender, forget, and transcend the ego I in love's distracted communion with me, and in total or full and complete conformity to me, is to practice and become conformed to the radical way or pattern of the divine heart, and ultimately via that way or pattern of me, to realize the divine heart itself, which is the one and only conscious light itself. I am the one and only man of radical understanding, the divine avataric master of all my listening devotees, and all my hearing devotees, and all my seeing devotees. I am always already spontaneously present or heart-born. I was humanly born or made conditionally apparent by a unique, full, free and non-conditional avataric descent of my own divine transcendental spiritual force. But even so, by the same general means, or in the same general manner, by which I submit, as the intrinsically egoless and self-evidently divine person, self-conditioned and source-conditioned, to embrace and to be each and every one of humankind. Therefore, my method of teaching was, likewise, to identify with humankind as it apparently is, and to submit to embrace human beings, each and all, as they apparently are. As I did this, I constantly and spontaneously reflected each one to himself or herself, thus to awaken in each one real self-observation, most fundamental self-understanding, and the free capability of transcending the ego I, or self-contraction. I did this in love, freely, openly, and not limited by convention, and through the recorded documents of my avatarically given divine word, and the fabricated images of my avatarically given divine image art, and the recorded stories of my avatarically self-manifested divine leelas, and the forever to be continued representation of my avatarically born bodily human divine form, and the forever to be continued work of my now and forever hereafter avatarically given and always me revealing divine transcendental spiritual presence. I will always do this in love until my every listening devotee hears me and fully devotionally recognizes me and devotionally responds to me in love and fully receives the divine avataric transcendental spiritual baptism of my mere presence or my heart blessing that avatarically transmits the transcendental spirit power of my divine avataric self-revelation and freely, fully and formally and fully culturally accountably embraces the great process of ego transcending and real God realizing or divinely self-realizing practice of the radical reality way of the heart or radical reality way of Adidam. I am the first and the only one necessary to work by means of avataric birth and divine self-submission in the domain of Western culture. But I have come here to earth, to humankind, and into the total cosmic domain for the sake of all beings. I have come here to complete the divine self-revelation of the divine way that ultimately most perfectly realizes real causal God and truth itself and reality itself, so that even all and all may be translated into my transcendently spiritually self-bright, divine spherical self-domain. In order that the field or world circumstance of divine self-revelation would become complete, it was necessary for me to appear in the domain of heretofore avatarically unvisited and mostly secular Western culture, but I have come for the sake of all beings. Each and every one is my beloved. Therefore, because of love, I serve you and will forever serve you with great humour, tolerance, forgiveness, and blessing power. And you must likewise love me and honour me and feelingly approach me and serve me and ultimately most fully transcendently spiritually commune with me as your beloved and as your divine avataric master. And you must constantly enlarge your service to me, even in the context of your apparent relations with any and all conditionally manifested beings, by transcending and thereby renouncing the habits and reactions of egoity or self-contraction. The one and entire great tradition and total world circumstance of all humankind is the unique circumstance of my divine avataric appearance and all my avatarically self-manifested divine transcendental spiritual work. Therefore, in order that you may rightly honour and understand me, observe me standing free forever in the centre of the great tradition and the world circumstance of all and all. Observe me standing free everywhere in the great tradition, in every historical period. Observe my likenesses in all times and places and cultures, but know that my avatarically self-revealed divine word and all my avatarically self-manifested divine transcendental spiritual work is my own. Observe me now, standing free among all those who served me, humanly and spiritually, during the years of my own ordeal of divine reawakening. Rightly understand and always honour the lineage of spiritual blessing in which I stand spiritually blessed. But know that my avatarically self-revealed divine word and all my avatarically self-manifested divine transcendental spiritual work is my own. My avatarically full given divine word and the extraordinary play of all my avatarically self-manifested divine transcendental spiritual work is the one great divine avataric self-revelation to originate and develop in the domain of Western culture, and in the total or complete context of humankind, both East and West. But my every word and all my avatarically self-manifested divine transcendental spiritual work is given for the sake of all beings. My avatarically full given divine word and the extraordinary play of all my avatarically self-manifested divine transcendental spiritual work is my final or most perfectly completing divine avataric self-revelation, and it is given for the sake of all beings. This was Observe Me Standing Free. From the Dawn Horse Testament. Here ends recitation of the revelation word of the Divine Avataric Master, Paramasaptana Adidar Samraj.